1 degree Fahrenheit rise so far, just 1 degree Fahrenheit rise on average global temperature, even without considering methane. And why the IPCC predictions are so wrong and such huge underestimations is because the IPCC did not include methane in its calculations. And the IPCC did not include methane into its calculations is because the oil companies told them not to. ExxonMobil sits on the IPCC. So if you ignore methane, then of course you would come up with a gross underestimation. But the scariest point is that the IPCC report is what all the world's government base their energy policies on. And so if you ignore methane, well, you know, you're totally wrong. Now, if you factor in methane, we believe that within a century, the Earth's climate and the Earth's average temperature will go up by at least 16 degrees Fahrenheit by 2100. 16 degrees Fahrenheit was what was achieved by the third bout of mass extinction that drove 75% of all land species and 95% of all marine species to extinction. And this is what we're doing. And this is going to be very, very hard to stop because once methane is being released, it cannot be controlled. We have a very narrow window to control this methane release because there is one saving grace, and that is the methane is a short-lived chemical that given several decades, it will break down into carbon dioxide and water. But in the meantime, if we do not stop this methane release after the carbon dioxide has driven the Earth's predicted temperature by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 degrees, up to 10 degrees as predicted by IPCC without considering methane, then we are ending up with 16 to about 20 degrees Fahrenheit rise by 2100, and we are talking about the same rate of mass extinction. Today we have about 20 million species on Earth today, and a lot of marine species. In the third extinction, all the corals were completely wiped out. Most of the bivalves, most of the crustaceans were wiped out because when the ocean and the atmosphere is saturated with carbon, then the ocean becomes acidified into weak acidic carbonic acid, and that will prohibit the formation of calcium carbonate, and that explains why that layer between the Permian and the Triassic is calcite poor, because there is no calcium carbonate in the ocean deposit. And that is because of the acidification of the ocean. The acidification of the ocean as well as the warming would impact on the ocean's plankton big time. The plankton is the foundation is the very foundation of the food web. If the plankton is undermined, then the fish will be undermined. The fish undermined, then the marine mammals will be undermined. So if we do not control this methane release within the next 3 or 4 years, and I'm talking about this very, very narrow window, then unfortunately I would have to personally predict that within a century, all of the marine cetaceans will be gone, all of the corals will be gone, and all of the great fishes will be gone as well. And that, I cannot think of any worse abuse of animals in the ocean than driving them to extinction in such a manner. And if that happens, we're going to need another 10, 20, 50 million years for even just the corals to re-evolve. And the vertebrates, I think, is going to take a lot longer. It's going to take another 50 to 60 million years for vertebrates to re-evolve from chordates and the lower fishes. Some of them may escape the ocean warming because they might be in some lakes or something like that, and they may have some little sanctuaries, but we'd better stop changing our entire species behavior within the next 3 or 4 years. Scientists who sat on the IPCC panel, I spoke at length with Dr. Steve Running in the University of Montana in Missoula. He himself said, we need 2 things. One is that we need to change our species behavior in terms of morality and ethics and self-control, so that we don't burn every single drop of oil that can be burned. We must exercise self-control and not burn anymore, even though we may have it. Number 2 is that within the next 10 years, we must come up with a carbon capture and and sequestration technology to be able to reduce the carbon from the atmosphere, so that even if methane is in the atmosphere, it still will be absorbed. But guess what? The brilliant billionaire Richard Branson, the British billionaire who built a rocket plane and flew it himself up into space and came back down again, he's got a standing reward offer of $25 billion for anybody who can come up with a workable carbon storage, carbon capture and sequestration system that can absorb carbon from the atmosphere. $25 billion, that started about 3 years ago, and guess what? The $25 million are still sitting in his bank. Nobody has claimed it. Now what does it tell you? We do not have that technology. So I hate to leave you with this, but if you will come to my plenary talk on Sunday night, I will talk about 3 possible solutions that we have advanced, that we are championing, that could possibly save our Earth. And also, as I mentioned, I have recently published this book, which is 2 weeks old, and it is free to all conference participants. And please go into the conference room and claim your free copy. And if you want me to sign it, come to me. And they're all sitting there in a big stack, so just come and take it. So
Anthony, you have 2 minutes.
Okay. So any questions?
There's one in the back. What's the name of the book?
The name of the book is Homo Sapiens, Save Your Earth. Well, I suppose everybody is waiting for me to come up with a solution on Sundays.
When are you coming to New Jersey?
When I'm going to New Jersey, I think over the next 2 weeks.
Come on, visit us.
Yeah, currently I'm on my 6th long tour through the U.S. It is called the Compassion for Animals World Expedition number 6, lasting for 4.5 months, covering 25 states and 6 Canadian provinces. I will be talking about the Canadian seal hunt as well as the Japanese whaling. But I will be concentrating on species extinction and how to fight it. And after this conference, I will be concentrating on the U.S., northeastern U.S. states, the entire group: New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, New York, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. And so if anybody lives there, give me a call. I'll be in your town shortly.
When will you be speaking in New Jersey?
I haven't got my itinerary with me, but it should be sometime in late August and early September. And I have my itinerary is in my. I've got 2 websites. One of the websites is right on the cover of my book. But if you want to look at my itinerary, go to myspace.com/my name, Anthony Marr, and just scroll down and you'll see my itinerary. It is city by city, so you know exactly which day I'll be in what city. So if you happen to be in that city, contact me or come to my presentation.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you.